Good morning, everyone. It is day 6 of IMTS 2022, and wait a minute. We're missing someone. Where's James? Charlie, is James in there with you? He's not in there?
Is this thing on?
Hold on a second. Does anyone see James?
Oh, man, this is cool. Oh my gosh, man. This in here.
I hear him.
This is awesome, man. Look at all this equipment. This is crazy, man. Wow. Cool. Hey, what's up, guys? Oh my gosh. This is cool. Like the screens. This is crazy.
Hey, James.
What?
Don't touch that.
Hey, James.
What does that do?
James.
I can do.
James. What are you doing?
I'm just checking stuff out.
Okay, are you checking or interrupting? Like, let these guys do what they need to do. We got a show. Come on.
Well, let me know if you need me for anything. Okay.
We have things to do.
Oh my gosh, this is
Jeez.
oh my gosh.
Mic's off. Got it? Awesome. Live TV. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. You in there? You good? Got it? All right. We're here, day 6 at IMTS 2022. I know I'm not Mary. Mary, we miss you. I'm using the green microphone in honor of you. But day 6, we are all creators. Hashtag IMTS 2022. Hashtag we are all creators. Come swing by the creators booth. We got some great interviews coming up. Unfortunately, we don't have Wade, Fabian, or Mitch with us today, but we still got James and we still got Charlie in the booth. So come over, come hear our interviews today. Let's get this show rocking. Hi, Charlie. Hi, James. You guys ready to rock? Let's do it.
Yes. Woo! This is great.
All right. So, IMTS, day 6 on a Saturday. What are you two looking forward to?
Whoa.
What am I looking forward to? There's so much still to see, but I'm looking forward to the interviews today in the lounge. I've got Terry Iverson. He's one of those that came up in the industry, and then he came to become a writer, and he's like sharing stories and also like trying to just raise awareness for manufacturing. So I'm really excited about that. And then Jeremy over there with Edge Factor. I'm sure a lot of people know him, but I'm excited to bring him in here and just hear his story. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, he was actually down in the student summit, so a lot of people probably didn't see him, but he had a giant van down there with the big Edge Factor lettering on there, so it was great to see him here.
Right, and we both interviewed there, and so created videos for students so that they're actually going to go into schools. You know, I just think that's amazing.
That's exciting. How about you, James? What are you looking forward to today?
Well, I'm excited about that too. Just getting our next generation of manufacturers in the pipeline. And I ran into, Jeremy and his crew working on Manufacturing Day, and when we built the brand and launched it. So they have done a great job with that and so many other things. I'm excited actually about our run of show. I've been looking at our run of show, and it's really cool because we have a lot of cool stuff. Scott LaPrade, applications and tech sales at Gen Swiss. Emma Betters, and now Megan, you're going to join me for that. I'm excited. Oak Ridge National Labs, that's some serious stuff going on over there.
They do a lot of good things for the industry, and if you haven't caught their booth, it's in the South Hall. I don't remember what booth number it is, but it's all the way against the wall to the left in the South Hall. Go check it out. They actually 3D printed the outer shell of a machine and then filled it with concrete, so hopefully we can talk to her a little bit more about that during our interview. But, speaking of the show, James, I'm going to let you start first.
Yeah.
What has been, like, your most memorable thing so far?
It's
been a long week.
It's been a long week, but it's been, again, I think I keep saying it's been the people. It's just been the people. It's just like, technology here, people like, in the stratosphere, there, and just the connections, the Creators Lounge, and just organic connections, things that are, just unexpected happening. And I think the way I put it is, here we're just finding a friend around every bend of the show.
Yeah.
And so that's really been the best part of it. There's just, who do you mention? What do you mention? There's just so much.
What about you, Charlie?
Yeah, I'm still like living on that child that came by and like jumped up and wanted to be filmed and on camera and say, I want to be an engineer,
Sailor, yep.
So good. And then the other thing, I guess, just as far as moments, it's just watching everybody develop and grow. This team has been amazing to watch, and the opportunities that y'all have created with the lounge. Well done, team.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things from other people who are like, this is such a cool concept. Like, it's really cool. Like, how do we get involved? How can I share my story? So really great job to you, James, and your team. They've been really fun to hang out with. You guys are a blast. You did a really good job selecting Mary as the host. We miss her today, but what are your hopes for the next IMTS? What sort of things are you looking forward to?
Oh my God, I'm so excited about this, and just a minor correction. It's us. We're the whole team. It's the influencers. It's all the creators. It's all the manufacturing stories that we've been hearing that we're here, today to do. It's the Industrial Studios team. It's Mavens of Manufacturing. It's empowering, it's empowering industry, empowering women. It's Mitch Free and Free Thinking and, Tooling Up Show. It's Fabian Allefeld, and it's Scott McKenzie, Industrial Talk, and it's Wade Anderson. All of these great personalities coming in, whether it's Shop Matters, Industrial Talk, Additive Snack, Tooling Up, all of these great shows, and all these other creators, whether it's Manufacturing Happy Hour or it's the Automation Ladies, or correct. So there's just so many. I think that this time, 2 years from now, you're going to see so many influencers and creators telling their manufacturing story. So that's where I see this being just such a special thing moving forward.
Yeah, it was really neat this morning when we were, getting ready to come into the lounge, and people are walking by and they stop and talk and say, we've seen this all week, and now I just want to talk to you because I'm a creator, and I have, it's not just a creator, which he was. He also, really had a lot of just cool stories of things he's done, from space to manufacturing to robots is what he's working on now, and just meeting those people has been so exciting. And I think what you're saying is true. Like, this is just the beginning. They are walking by, they're seeing what we're doing here, and they're like, wonderful, because I have a story to tell that I think that we really need to get out there. So I'm excited to see what happens next too.
So I know that you said you did really just spending most of your time here in the South Hall and didn't really get a chance to explore. So what are your plans for today? I know you got 2 interviews coming up later this afternoon. Are you hoping to get out to the other floors? Are you going to do that, or?
Yeah, I'm really hoping. It's just been, there's just so much to see, and for me, I think so think about it this way. I'll be very honest. Like, probably won't get out to the extent I want to. But I really just empathize with every one of these folks that have made a major investment away from their families to design, years in the making, some of these exhibitions. Mm-hmm. And they've literally had to stay to their, within the 4 corners of their space. And that, for me, is okay. You can have a great experience. And so as you look at these, over 2,000 exhibitors, there's just so many great experiences and places to be. It's okay if you're doing your thing, because that's part of the experience. So for me, I'm gonna hang out here a little bit, and because also I'm getting a little sad.
Yeah. Because
I'm gonna miss you guys. I'm really we boo-hoo-hooing. Just real quick too, I want to just give a shout out to Jim Olin, who's been our fearless, leader of Industrial Studios. He got strep, tested negative, for COVID, but man, it was like a month straight worth of plus of hard work, late nights, and this type of production at this level is so challenging that finally he just said, hey, you guys got this. And, we're here, together just making it happen. So, we're happy to be here.
He's a lot of fun to hang out with. Charlie, what about you? What is something that you are kind of disappointed you didn't get a chance to see, or what are you going to try to get to see today?
Yeah, so first thing before the show opened, I went over to the West building because I love the 3D printing and the additive manufacturing, because I guess I can see that in the pump industry very clearly, my background of all the different parts and things that can happen. And so I did that before, but I'd like to go back over there and spend some time. I also would like to get down and see the students a little bit more, the students area, because it's just energizing. I mean, just walking in, I got to walk and listen with some students and said that they were here 4 years ago and they're excited to be back. And so that really is rewarding. And I know that energy is going to be so good. So after my talk with Jeremy, I think I'll follow him back down to the student center.
That's awesome. We actually had 4 different girls walk by the creators booth and wave at us. And then they came back around and I was able to give them Mavens wristbands and told them, I was like, if you need to be connected to anyone, if you need a mentor or whatever, reach out to any one of us and we'll help you get connected. They were all from the Illinois area. So I was like, if you want to do a facility tour, let me know. I'll connect you with the factory. And I'm like, get on LinkedIn because that's where these people are going to be. And I'm like, they're too old to know how to do all the cool stuff like you guys know how to do. So
yes, help us. We need you.
So you did connect it. So they went like this, we'll see you, we'll come around.
Yeah,
so you
they
did
came
connect?
back around and they stopped right there and I got all of their names and they scanned my business card because I have a digital business card. So my contact information is in their phone. I told them to get on LinkedIn, follow me on LinkedIn. I said I have a TikTok channel, but it's not as creative as any of what they're doing. But yeah, they want to join this sector. They want to be inspired, and in order for us, I think, to keep them excited about it, we have to nurture those curiosity feelings.
So if you don't mind, part of when we created this, for a creator to come in or a brand that's, telling their manufacturing story, the promise was unapologetically self-promote what you're doing. It's not like the X5000 does this and this many cycles and blah, 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 blah. And there was some of that, but the best part of this was really when we heard the human side of the story and how things developed. And because it really, everything we do touches people. I want to give you guys an opportunity to unapologetically self-promote what you're doing for women in manufacturing. Sorry, because I think there's just so much, and we really haven't had the Charlie commercial and the Megan commercial. And it's not about self-promotion. It's promotion because you're doing things to affect change for the better. So would you just kind of give everyone who's listening and watching just really the rundown of all these amazing things that you're doing and where they can find you? And
yeah. So for those who don't know me, I'm actually a tech writer, which doesn't come up a lot. They find this out much later in the conversations when they meet me through Mavens and Manufacturing. They're like, we didn't know you could write. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's what I've been doing for a really long time. I actually have a master's degree in it, which really surprises people too.
I love that.
I can't achieve a master's or something, but yeah, spent a lot of time in school getting educated in technical writing, and then started out as an editor at a trade publication. Well, it's the last day and I'm really tripping up, but that's okay. I'm going to make it. I'm going to pull through.
It's because you're talking about yourself. And we all know when you start talking about ourselves, it's the hardest thing to do. So that's why we are bringing it in and letting you know it's okay to brag about yourself.
So that's where I really fell in love with engineering and manufacturing. So the focus on the publication was design concept through creation, production, and distribution. So we followed it all the way from point A to point B, and we were able to interview so many different types of people, from the shop floor all the way to C-suite, different products, some products that people never even heard of, and why their importance mattered in these bigger applications that they were being put into. And I tried to step away from the industry and go into higher education and market for higher education, got really bored. So I came back to the sector, worked with a couple different companies in their marketing department and helped develop their brand story, because it was still around the time where manufacturers really didn't know how to talk about themselves in a human to human way.
They still don't.
They don't. They're right. A lot of them still don't. So did that for a few years, and then a few years right before the pandemic, my husband and I had 2 kids. So I was like, I really want to be able to stay home and just hang out with my kids whenever I want, pick my own hours. So do you care if I start Zing Solutions, which is my writing company? He's like, no, sure, do it, Well, then he ended up losing his job. So I had to go back to the corporate world. And I was actually a COVID hire because COVID blessed us with its presence and everybody shut down. But this manufacturer was making some of the components in the ventilators. So they were able to keep their production cycle up. And I started writing some of their pages for their website, some of their social media posts. And I decided in the meantime I wanted to start Mavens of Manufacturing, because all these LinkedIn conversations were happening, and I didn't see any of the women that I met during my trade publications day being featured on any of the conversations. And I would suggest them to the host as guests. Oh yeah, we'll call them. And then they never called them. So I was like, well, screw it. And after some encouragement from one of my friends, he was just like, you should just do it. Just jump. Because we were talking about skydiving and how I went skydiving. He's like, just jump, just do it. So I made an announcement, and I had like 30 women contact me right away after I made my initial announcement. And they wanted to be on Maven. So I just fast forwarded. My first episode is so terrible, like all of the technical stuff that happened. But my friend who just told me to jump, he's like, try to be 1% better the next day than you were the day before. And he's like, if you can continue just building that momentum up, he's like, you can never say, well, I didn't improve today, because you're only doing it in small increments. Yeah. So I started Mavens, knew about Andrew Crow from a previous company that I worked for. So I reached out to him and I said, hey, do you have any girl students in your classes? Because I know you're a tech teacher. And he goes, I actually have one. And I was like, can you bring her on to Mavens? So he actually came on to Mavens with his student. It was actually her boyfriend. He tried recruiting, and she's the one that showed up at the class. Wow. So I was like, okay. So then Andrew and I kept having these conversations. So then I was like, well, I want to do this tour in my hometown. Can you be the keynote speaker? And initially I wanted it to be a face-to-face tour. But again, COVID was a pain in everybody's rear. It ended up changing to a virtual event. He still came out on his own accord, and we did it at the Beloit Memorial High School, the students that came here on Wednesday. We did it at their high school, and to see these students cry when they heard his story, and then have them come up to me and say, thank you for doing this for us. Why did you do this for us? Why do you care? Why is this important to you? Like, they were asking this from myself and from Andrew. We then knew that we need to keep doing this. So Andrew and I have been collaborating, and he's been spearheading the new manufacturing Renaissance tour. And he's just, to see his growth has been really great to see for me, because he had lack of confidence when he first started out. And I was just like, you cannot quit. And there's been times where I'm like, I can't do Mavens anymore because I'm getting so overwhelmed and I'm so busy. But one of my friends, it was Allie actually who came here.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, you cannot quit this. If you quit this, I'm going to be so mad at you. I'm going to stop talking to you. And I'm like, why? What's the big deal? And she's like, so many women rely on you to inspire them and encourage them to keep going. And she's like, if you quit, you're letting a bunch of people down. And that hit me hard in my heart. So I was like, well, I guess I got to keep going. So I'm now getting more involved with like getting younger students involved, especially girls, because there's still those misconceptions where they think they don't think this is a place for them, and they don't have the confidence to like power through. Because when you start looking at each individual community, it's usually like 30 students to a class. There might be 4 girls out of those 30 students.
That's amazing. So,
Yeah.
oh man, I'm just in awe. Charlie,
I know.
how do you top?
What
these
do I
things?
do? That's the thing, right? Is I told this earlier in the week. My favorite moment was watching Megan up there on that main stage with Andrew, and the energy and the moment. It was just phenomenal. So you are inspiring us all. I cannot believe you've been doing this like less than 2 years.
Yeah.
I am blown away right now. I started my podcast in the pandemic too because we had more time. We weren't on the go quite so much. So it's the Empowering Industry podcast. I can't believe haven't had you on yet. We've got to fix that. But we did as a group. So I'll give myself a pass there. But we created Empowering Women in Industry, and that was because similar story. We were in the pump industry, and we were bringing women together. And then I kind of had to step away a little while. Like had to focus on the basics, right, and get my business put together during that time. And they called me and were like, "We missed our leader," and I was like, "Whoa, leader? How did that happen?" And I was like, "Okay, I guess I am. I guess I'm the leader. I need to learn what leadership is." And so I went and took all these courses and really just tried to level up for them, right? So it's being there because we don't want anybody to be the only in the room. I don't want you
Right.
to not have support that you need, and so we're going to be there for anyone in the manufacturing field, really. Anybody who wants to develop and kind of take that career to the next level, we want to be there for them from students on, and we want to make sure that manufacturing has what it needs. It has the skilled workers that they need to run their plants, right? So we talk a lot about that with Empowering Pumps and Equipment. The equipment side and the people has always been what we've tried to focus on, right? So we do the industry person of the week. We highlight people all the time there at Empowering Pumps. And then the podcast itself, let me put all these pieces together, right? Just storytelling, which I love, right? To be a storyteller is really like, I get to ask you questions and then you get to go, right? And I get to just dive in and learn everything I can about you. So that's really what I enjoy about doing the podcast and getting to meet people like you both. Yeah.
Well, you're having a big event.
Yes. Yes.
So like, come on.
Okay, so I've had a whirlwind tour, right? So I've been at IMTS this week. I left. I flew out to the Pump Symposium. They call it TPS. And then I met with women of ASPE, women of TPS this week. And then being back here today and just really seeing these amazing manufacturers. And really, I get to be that, I guess, connector and see like this industry and this industry is facing the same problems, and I get to talk about it and bring people in. So I've just loved that part. Is just, hey, use me up, right? Use my face or whatever when I'm not here, but just so that you're comfortable enough to share your story. That's what I want to make. Open the table for people.
But you're having Empowering Women event too.
I've had an Empowering Women event, not here, but we are October the 13th in New Orleans. We are working on that, and so that's been a challenge, right? We were working on like the graphics and everything this week, and my team is great, so I just shout out to my team if they're listening. But yeah, Empowering Women in Industry. It's New Orleans. It follows WEFTEC, which is a water wastewater conference. On October 13th. And yeah, I can't wait to see the energy, see those women talking from a welder to a engineer to operator, just so many women across industry coming up to level up, right? They want to learn those leadership development skills. They want to have access to other people in the industry. And so, yeah, it's really rewarding to be able to do that.
And awarding, because you give out. So what's
That's
the
right.
award that you give out?
We give out, there's about 12, but I do I get to pick the Empowering Women of the Year. So that's always fun. But they vote on it as our committee. Engineer, operator, tradesperson, leadership in manufacturing, leadership in STEM. We give out a whole lot of awards. That's a lot of fun. And then we have an industry fashion show. So that is awesome. Hard hats, high heels.
You should get in touch with Xena Workwear if you
Yes.
haven't yet, because
Yes.
she's fabulous and she makes steel-toed fashion shoes for the factory floor, so women can still be fashionable while they're touring facility floors, especially if they're in operations.
Yes, and we
She's
have
amazing.
Juno Jones is our sponsor, so they can come and kind of like show off both of the brands and see who likes what. I like this kind of, level up the competition here. But then, the safety glasses, the hard hat. There's so many different brands, the vests that you have to have that are designed for a woman's body. We found so much that they just you don't have the gloves that fit. They don't have, when you're not,
Because they're all bulky.
yeah, you're not dressed.
We're talking
for
fashion here.
I know. Well, if you're not dressed for success, you can't do your job
Well,
right.
and it's completely different with women in the industry.
No,
It's completely different.
so true. Like we industrial, we worked with Red Cap, one of the big workwear brands, and I can't tell you, having done a campaign for workwear specifically made for women, in shops and oil places, you go get your oil changed, and it's just crazy to think that wasn't even a thing. So
Yeah, we haven't. Yeah, we
it's
didn't even
crazy.
think about it. We didn't even think that there needed to be. And I worked with these water operators with WEFTEC's Operations Challenge, and they did the Charlie's Angels group. It was the first all women's operating team. And what I learned was that they have these challenges that they can't get the things that they need to be successful at work. And so that took it up a notch, right?
Yeah.
It set me into gear of, okay, we're going to bring some attention to this.
Well, that's exciting. Make sure you send me some stuff so I can push that out for you, because I want that
I'm
to
going
be
to
a
have to
great
bring
event.
Megan. Can you make it? You can bring your kids too. My daughter's coming.
Ooh, maybe. My daughter would love to come. If she's not in final week, though. That's October, so they might be in final week. But
I may even make it out there.
Yes,
You'll have me.
yes, absolutely. Men can come. We have the gala and the fashion show, and it's just a lot of fun.
that would be awesome. Well, we got to get our day started. It's the last day.
Oh, stop.
It's the last day. We got Charlie coming up with Terry Iverson, who is the president and CEO at Iverson and Company. So stay tuned. We got a great lineup today for day 6 here at IMTS 2022. Make sure to follow #WeAreAllCreators. See you guys in a minute.